Hi everyone, welcome to episode 3 of Investing 101 with me. I'm Alex from Cetera Investors, and today we'll be reviewing modern portfolio theory. What is modern portfolio theory? Modern portfolio theory is a theory on how to construct a diversified portfolio that maximizes expected return given a certain level of risk. It was pioneered by Harry Markowitz back in 1952, and he eventually won a Nobel Prize for his finding. In practice, it's a simple yet sophisticated strategy that will help you maximize the return for any given level of risk you are willing to take on. The goal of modern portfolio theory is to minimize non-systematic risk, which is the unique characteristics of one individual company that cause the price to fluctuate. The idea is by bundling things into a large portfolio that you minimize the impact of the variation of one individual security. The first pillar of modern portfolio theory is broad diversification. In order for the theory to apply, your portfolio needs to be broadly diversified, meaning it's invested in many securities. So the second pillar is that securities are not added based off of their individual performance. Instead, they're added based off of how they are expected to affect the overall portfolio. The two terms that are common when it comes to modern portfolio theory are variance and correlation. Variance is the amount that the price tends to differ from the mean of the overall portfolio. Correlation measures how a security correlates with the other securities inside of the portfolio. Pillar number 3 of modern portfolio theory is to construct a portfolio that maximizes expected return based on a certain level of risk, or vice versa. You can also minimize risk given a certain level of expected return. In 1952, Harry Markowitz created the efficient frontier, which represents the portfolios that maximize the expected amount of return for any given amount of risk. In general, the efficient frontier graph looks like this. On the x-axis, we have risk, and on the y-axis, we have expected return. This graph represents the most efficient portfolios where the expected return is maximized for every given level of risk. In general, this graph shows that the more expected return you would like to see, the more risk you typically have to take on. In creating a portfolio, you want to be as close to the efficient frontier as possible. If your portfolio falls below the efficient frontier, you are probably taking on too much risk for the expected amount of return. Being below the efficient frontier line is less desirable because you are seeing less expected return for the same amount of risk. And that's a review of modern portfolio theory. Stay tuned for next time where we'll be talking about dollar cost averaging.